Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, we're back with yet another video series of interview, and today we have Bhagyashree Bhati. How are you, Bhagyashree?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm perfectly fine and looking
How?
gorgeous today.
Thank you so much. So do you. Looking handsome. I can't say gorgeous.
Thank you, thank you. And all the students, today we have one special guest, which is Bhagyashree, and she is one of the best academic coach I can say, because she's trained over more than 500 students across India, and she's known for her academic qualification. Basically, she's more into parenting, consulting, counseling. Let me introduce her by she's a psychopreneur, life coach of mind trainer, an educational evangelist and clinical psychologist with over a decade of experience in psychotherapy, and counseling specialist in anxiety, depression, stress, relationship conflict, academic issues, behavior and anger management issues. A conscious parenting coach, transforming lives of people through coaching, counseling, and lead a happier and successful life. So, welcome, Bhagyashree.
Thank you.
Let me start asking you this question first. Why did you choose coaching and consulting as a career?
Um, so first of all, thank you so much, Atul, for having me here. And it's a great platform to get, inspire so many people. So why I got into this profession initially, so I started with my work with children and parents at a very young age. And I saw my mom doing it, and somewhere down the line, I developed those skills. And gradually, I started liking what I do, and now that is turning into like loving what I do. And transform once I saw the transformation work, when I learned everything from my mentor, when I saw the transformation happening in me, I wanted to give that to the community, give that to the students, give that to the parents, so that they can lead a happier life.
Perfect. No, seriously, it's a noble cause when it comes to as a career, basically consulting and
Mm-hmm.
counseling. I've met a lot of trainers and
Mm-hmm.
coaches, especially, and basically all the work that you guys start is basic intention is to help people to overcome.
Yes.
There's a lot of stress in this field as well as a parent
Mm-hmm.
coach, as a consulting coach. I believe you agree with this, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges faced by parents and by the children. Like, um, with my experience, more than children, it's the parents who
Hmm.
are under tremendous amount of stress because of the pre-assumptions, challenges that they feel that it's going on. तो काफी सारी चीजें उनके लिए बहुत difficult होती है, उनके हिसाब से फिर that is kind of passed on to the children.
Correct. जो ऑफिस का स्ट्रेस हो गया या काम का स्ट्रेस हो गया, that pours down to the children.
काम का स्ट्रेस है इसमें एक चीज आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड लाइक द स्ट्रेस इज आई थिंक इट्स बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट देयर प्रोग्रामिंग वाज डन व्हाइल दे ग्रू अप एंड उनके पेरेंट्स का जो भी प्रोग्रामिंग है इट्स पास्ड ऑन टू देम एंड देन अकॉर्डिंग टू देम दे आर काइंड ऑफ डीलिंग विद their children instead of changing with them, because of course we're in the 21st century. You can't do the parenting in the traditional way. It has to change. It's no more of too much parenting. That has to really stop, and it's more of a guiding and mentoring and being there with the child at that moment.
Correct. Any tips you want to give to all the parents who are watching here today?
um Before getting into the problem with the child, first the parent needs to figure out what's going on with them, how they can connect with themselves. Once they're aware of their feelings, and they are once they're aware of how they have been raised, and what has to be changed,
Mhm.
automatically that will start reflecting in the child's behavior as well.
Okay.
बिकॉज वो बोलते हैं ना, पास्ट प्रोग्रामिंग या पास्ट बिलीफ सिस्टम से जो भी चलते आया है वही पेरेंट्स फॉलो कर रहे हैं. वही डायनामिक्स से एंड वही सिस्टम से लोग या पेरेंट्स को जाना पसंद है, जैसे उनके पेरेंट्स ने किया हम भी उसी वे से पेरेंटिंग करेंगे.
100%.
So that has to change because things have changed. Kids are more smarter. They are more. They have more of resources to research and do a lot of things. So
Correct.
it's always better to grow with them
Mhm.
and bring that change rather than sticking to one pattern throughout their life.
Correct. So basically, the parent has to mold himself or herself into.
Yeah, they need to connect with themselves. They need to figure out उनके क्या belief system है. वो change होंगे तो automatically things will start changing in their life with their children.
That's pretty good, Bhagyashree. I mean, it's one take we can take in this, that you have to change according to the platforms which are provided, and you have to mold
Mm-hmm.
accordingly, so that the child gets comfortable with you, right? Because his sources
Hmm.
and his programming is totally depend on how you do it, right?
Yes,
So don't do it
correct.
according to what has happened with you, but do it according to what today's generation require, right?
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful, Bhagyashree.
And then, yeah, and they need more of support and that friendliness.
Correct.
It's no more like कि ये करो वो करो. You can't deal with you can't instruct the children nowadays that way.
Totally agreed.
Hmm.
And now moving on to another question, Bhagyashree, is
Hmm.
why parenting, and what were the challenges you faced while you started this career?
Um, so when I started with parenting, as I said that I started seeing. I've been seeing this since a very young age. So I started noticing a lot of problems. Like they come with the problem of a child, but actually problem parents को होती है. उनका कितना acceptance है, उनका कितना resilience है. तो
Hmm.
वो बहुत मैटर करता है. तो बहुत अलग अलग टाइप के पेरेंट्स आते हैं, जैसे कि देयर विल बी सम पेरेंट्स हु वुड बी लाइक टू मच इन्वॉल्व इन देयर चाइल्ड्स लाइफ
Hmm.
एंड दे डोंट गेट दैट स्पेस. कुछ पेरेंट्स होते हैं कि इतना टाइट शेड्यूल किया है कि बच्चा रात तक वैसे ही ड्रेन्ड आउट हो जाता है. कुछ पेरेंट्स है कि हाँ पैसे भर दिए, मेरा काम वही खत्म हो गया है, तो तुम लोग को पूरा करना है. मोस्ट ऑफ द पेरेंट्स इन स्कूल्स लाइक ऐसे
Yeah.
मतलब पैसे भर दिए, फीस भर दिए पूरे साल के. नाउ इट्स स्कूल्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी व्हाट माय चाइल्ड इज डूइंग
Correct, correct.
एंड हाउ ही इज बिहेविंग. इट्स टोटली देयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. तो कहीं ना कहीं देयर इज अ imbalance in the way they are communicating with their child. And these are because of just this communication part. काफी सारे challenges आते हैं, बच्चे सुनते नहीं है. ये complaints पेरेंट्स की होती है. द चाइल्ड मे नॉट बी लाइक दैट
Hmm.
कि सुनते नहीं है, बैठते नहीं है, टॉयलेट लग रही है, सुसु लग रही है, पूरे टाइम यही चलता रहता है. So they find it really difficult to kind of help the child in that case. Now we need to first identify like कि बच्चे को actually ये problem है, because when you actually sit with the child, the scenario is quite different. There are also parents who kind of raise their hands on their children or quite abusive or they hit them. Right? So all kind of parents I've seen and dealt with. So
Mhm.
challenges बहुत सारे हैं. पेरेंट्स का बोलते हैं ना कि एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू चेंज करना भी बहुत मुश्किल है. इट्स नॉट इजी. चेंजेस बच्चे से बहुत एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, बट खुद चेंज होने में थोड़ा सा इतने फ्लेक्सिबल नहीं होते चेंज होने में.
Correct. I mean, this happens with a lot of. I mean, with me also, a lot of times it happens wherein you come across with situations wherein parent-child relation is something which is very in today's DNA, and especially after COVID. I mean, a lot of things have changed,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everybody
Yes.
used not used to be at home, but for one year almost that you have to be in the same house. Kids are
Mm-hmm.
seeing each other, and there's a lot of aggression happening there. So these kind of cases came
Mm-hmm.
up. So good that you've mentioned
Yes.
here about changing the perspective to look towards the situation according to your own
Mm-hmm.
perspective, right? Rather than from a child's
Yeah.
perspective, because he will do what he feels like doing, but you have to change the perspective of training him in that way.
Mm. Yes, correct. Like we assume that the child might be feeling this way, or when we see a child going through any kind of a failure or any kind of a stress in their life, we automatically start supporting them. Sometimes kids don't need that. You just leave them, let them experience their failures. Probably थोड़ा उसमें support करो कि हाँ ऐसे होता है life में, and you have to deal with it rather than covering up for them all the time.
Correct. So any age group that you are currently catering to in parenting?
I'm catering to, like, it's a vast age group that I'm catering to, from 3.5 years onwards, and I think I go up to 2021.
Okay.
And 10 plus, I deal with children a lot who are 10 plus,
10
who
plus.
comes for counseling. Yeah.
Maybe
10
third,
to
fourth,
21.
third, 21.
Fifth, 10 to 21, yes.
21 will not be a kid anymore.
I mean, around 20, like young adult, I would say.
Actually, till adults. Basically, so graduation also, like almost towards
Yeah,
and all those things also you cater to. Perfect.
yes.
Perfect. Bhagyashree, I just wanted to, very curious about this. Wanted to ask you in
Mhm.
your introduction, you've mentioned clinical psychologist. So can you just throw some light
Mhm.
over this? What exactly is clinical psychologist?
So basically, clinical psychologist is, again, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of science, and it's a lot of study on the human behavior,
Hmm.
what kind of mental stress or dysfunction that they go through.
Mhm.
And it's a lot more in detail regarding that, and how you can, help these kind of different kind of disorders or different kind of distress that the patient or the client is going through. And again, a lot of therapy based approach. Again, even while we are dealing with the patient or a client, it's more like a holistic approach. So इसमें सारे disorders है, क्या होता है, scientific क्या है, research क्या बोलती है. So it's a study of a human behavior and the mind.
Okay, pretty good. So one last question, Bhagyashree, from our academy is that how is training and coaching as an industry according to you?
Training and coaching as an industry is good. So apart from young adults or children, I also cater to a lot of women nowadays. So it's really quite empowering, and it's a beautiful field, and you can just keep on exploring, and it's good in terms of it gives you a stability. But this is a profession where you need to be very passionate about.
True.
You need to have that love for interacting with people, understanding, patience. So a lot of things come into this. So if you really like doing that, and understanding how they behave, what they're going through, then it's a wonderful field. And it's really beautiful. I love when I coach all these young minds and all the women. Yeah, so it's good. As a field, it's good. As you get more trained, as you're training more people, conducting workshops, it's really a very nice field.
Correct. So basically, a lot of people watching here, if they want to start up their career as a trainer and a coach, especially
Mhm.
into parenting and consulting, so you can contact Bhagyashree over this because she is herself a successful trainer and she's based out in Pune, so that's pretty nearby as well. So,
Mhm.
being in Pune, you have. So, how can we connect with you? Where to connect with you, Bhagyashree? Can you just tell us?
So in Pune, I do have my own setup clinic. I have, so either offline and online mode. Both the ways you can connect with me, and I do have a social handle. You can directly message me on that, and we can get back to you.
Okay. So, guys, this was Bhagyashree for you, and she has given enormous knowledge over parenting and some of the key aspects that she touched over of a parent-child relationship. I mean, she's a specialist in that, and she's a transformation coach by the end, and she has a lot of knowledge and inputs to give you. I will not be able to accommodate everything in here because she is here for a very short period with us. And thank you for sparing this time with us, Bhagyashree. Our students or the people who are viewers who are watching has learned a lot from this interview, and definitely they will implement the key points that you've mentioned over a parent-child relationship.
Thank you so much, Atul, for having me. And I hope that everybody gets something out of this interview. And, you're doing really awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
And
much.
all the viewers, please log into all the channels she's mentioned on Instagram, Facebook. She's available through
Mhm.
the social media handles. You can connect with her through her website. All the information will be shared below on the screen. So you can contact her for more information. Thank you for being with us. And thank you, Bhagyashree, once again. Have a good day.
You too.